Okay, so I'm here today with Jake Lessard. Jake needed to quit vaping. Jake, why don't you give the story about your vaping history and how you ended up in the hospital with inflamed lungs as a result?
Yeah, so I started vaping when I was 16. It was in high school, and I did it for about 2 years. And I would chain vape. I would vape like every day, every once in a while, like 5 minutes, every 10 minutes. And it came to a point where my lungs became inflamed, and I went to the hospital for it. And the doctor basically told me that my lungs were inflamed from vaping and I needed to stop. So I did for about a year, but then I got back into it in about February. I did it for like 4 months, and that's when I decided to come to you.
Okay, and you ended up in the hospital more than once, though, did you not?
Yeah, I ended up in the hospital about 6 times, and I developed some really bad anxiety from it. So I'd have anxiety attacks, and it would cause me to freak out, and I would go to the hospital, and they'd do multiple x-rays to see what was wrong. And most of the time there wasn't uh, too bad of an issue going on, but it was mostly anxiety. It would cause me to freak out from it.
And so when you finally quit vaping, it took time for your lungs to heal, but you could still feel that something was wrong with your lungs, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was definitely something wrong still.
Did you have anxiety prior to this?
No, anxiety wasn't even a question in my life until this. So the vaping definitely brought it on, and it's something that I wanted to get rid of for sure.
Yeah. Okay. And so now you are done with vaping. How long has it been since you've quit vaping?
I think it's been 3 weeks now. I haven't vaped.
So are you using willpower to stay away from vaping?
No, not at all. Like I don't have the urge to do it at all. Like when I wake up in the morning, I feel amazing. My life's been changed for sure.
Okay. So now let's talk about, well, your life has changed. It wasn't just it wasn't just anxiety. It was also a little bit of depression that you were dealing with when you first came here. And then there was vaping. So we kind of de-traumatized you from that event first so that you could be in a more emotionally stable place. And then that makes the vaping go away more easily, right? So let's talk about the anxiety first. Do you have panic attacks now?
Yeah, no, so I don't have any panic attacks. Sometimes I'll have like periods where like I feel like anxiety is coming up, but I can handle it now. Like I can force it to go away instantly. Yeah, like it's been very easily with something with it being something I've dealt with for a while now, and it's been a struggle. It's nice to finally be able to take care of it and finally
So it never reaches the stage of panic attack anymore?
No, like I just don't get any panic attacks at all.
All right. And that anxiety, you're using one of the techniques I taught you to rid yourself of the anxiety, or have you gotten to the point where it just goes away on its own?
It's to the point where it just goes away on its own now.
Okay. All right. That's great. And depression, because the depression also started to come in. You described to me lack of motivation and just, you're an athlete, that's your history, but all of a sudden you weren't really doing anything physical. You always thought about doing things, but you just couldn't bring yourself to do it. How has your life changed in that regard? Well, let's talk about depression specifically.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you're still in a state of depression?
No, so I feel a lot better. I used to be like, I'd sleep until 12 p.m. And sometimes I would just lay in bed all day. When I was unemployed, I would just lay in bed all day, do nothing. I was very depressed. I wasn't feeling very good about myself or my life. And now I get up at 8 a.m. I am employed, I'm working, and when I was in school, I would like, before I would get like no assignments done for like a week straight, and now I would get like 2 assignments done in one day and everything. And I just have so much more motivation in life to be better and accomplish things, and it just feels really good.
And getting up at 8 a.m., is that because you go to work?
No, like I don't go to work until about 11. Like I just get up in the morning just to get up now, and it feels amazing to get up that early.
All right, that's great. And what about exercise?
Exercise, I've been exercising a lot more than I was. Obviously, I have some injuries that I'm working on with my for physio, but other than that, I've been running again, and I've been golfing with friends and stuff like that. So it's been, yeah, I'm definitely a lot more fitness in my life than there was before.
Okay, good. And let's, so what else do you want to say? What else has changed in your life?
I think just a lot of my motivation. A lot of the vaping that I was doing came from depression. And again, like it feels amazing to not vape because that's something that's been a part of my life forever. Not forever, but like 3 years, and 3 years felt like forever. It was a long time, and it feels good for that to finally go away. And with that came a lot of motivation and a lot of accomplishments that I've been able to make so far in the past month or two, and it just feels amazing to kind of have my life back on the road again, because like I was doing really well through 4 years ago, and I feel like I'm back to that part of my life again where I can finally look at my future and determine what I want to do.
That's fantastic. So one other thing I want to touch on is how many sessions you had before you finally quit. Because, I mean, I'm sure you saw some of the testimonial videos of people that have smoked, for example, for
Oh yeah.
decades, and they quit after one session, sometimes at the second session. For you, it took a little bit longer, only because, but I warned you of that. I told you that.
Yeah.
Because your emotional state needed to be leveled out first, right? So let's go over that. To be honest, I can't really recall, but I know there was a reduction after the first session. How much was it?
I don't remember. I remember there was 4 sessions though, and we kind of went over my mental state and my depression at first, and we kind of like handled that. And then it was the third session that I was in a hypnosis state, and I think that was the point where I realized like I don't need vaping anymore. Like it was really crazy to say the least. Like
So after the third session, that was it? No more vaping? Yeah.
no, there was a couple times where I did it after the third session, but it was the fourth session where it kind of like clued into me that like I don't need to do this
Okay.
anymore.
I remember after the third session, it was pretty much gone. It was,
It was
at
pretty much
90%.
gone, yeah.
But there was just very few occasions. And after the fourth session, that's when you called me and said, look, I don't need to come anymore.
Yeah.
I'm totally done.
Like to anyone out there that has never tried hypnosis, it's definitely something that's worth trying. Like it's something that I was skeptical about, but it definitely was a really cool experience and it changed my life. So
All right, Jake, I'm glad to hear you're doing so well. That's fantastic. How do you feel about maybe doing a follow-up video in a few months? Because people are going to be curious about whether this change has stuck or whether or not it's short-lived. So maybe in 6 months or something like that?
yeah, no, I'm definitely up for that. Because I think in 6 months or like half a year, like my life will be even better, hopefully. So it'd definitely be cool to see. I can look at both videos and see how my life's changed.
Yeah. All right. That's fantastic. Thank you.